go. Hello and welcome back to Narrow Path, the biggest business resource in between Seaford and Taranto. I'm Andy, this is Josh, and this is Josh. And for the sake of this, we're going to call Beck and Merchant. Today we're really excited where it's just us, and we are going to talk a little bit about sales. So obviously, the worst thing you can do when you're selling something is smell of desperation. But there are times in your career where you need to make the sale, whether your sales manager pulled you into a meeting or whether you got bills to pay or whatever it is. There are times where you are desperate by nature. And today's question is, how do you compartmentalize that and deal with it? What are the strategies? What's the recipe there? When your balls are to the wall, it's the 11th hour, it's rough, and you got to pull off a Hail Mary. What do you do? Because if you smell like you're desperate, your prospect will know. So what do we do? What do you reckon?
It's a great question.
I know.
Very good question. I'm gonna counter it with another question. I know that's the most painful way to do it, but first and foremost, because you have some very good stories.
I have amazing stories.
You have some very good stories. What's the most desperate point you've been to do that? Because I think sales, you can't radiate desperation. It's emotion, right?
Yeah.
There's an emotional transfer. Sales is, to an outcome. If you're just so desperate for that outcome, it rarely comes to you.
Yeah, okay.
What's been the most desperate?
Yeah, that's cool. So I've done it both ways. So I've had it where I had 5 full-timers and I had nothing booked the next day for any of them. Yeah. So they're all earning $250 a day, 250 times 5, what's that? That's fucking
$12.50.
$12.50. Yep. I had a $12.50 wage bill the next day and nothing booked. And I sold like crazy, reeked of desperation, had to drop my pants on the price, and lost, ultimately. We would break even on days like that. Yeah. So the lesson I've learned from that is go forth cautiously and make sure that you can fill up your full-timers and then have casuals that are a bit of cream on top and no hat, no play. Basically, no work, no pay.
But
don't put them on.
Answer this for me. Are you approaching your clients or are they approaching you?
Both. We get called in a bit. We get called in half, and then the other half is reaching out to them. Yeah. But I put myself into a position where I'm not desperate, where I can say no. And what I find is often, because I'm like, whatever, I don't give a shit. I had a guy the other day who was negotiating with me, and I will not negotiate. Like, I will not drop the price at all. My price is my price, and there's a reason for that. And he was trying to get it a little bit cheaper, and I was like, oh, that's fine. Someone else will just fill the spot. Because I knew, I went into it knowing that if the guys weren't booked, I just wouldn't put them on. Yeah. So I guess it's, for me, my answer is make sure you're setting yourself up for success, not failure. And that's my first mistake was, so I hired 5 full-timers in 5 months. I grew it like that. And the demand wasn't there. So for me, it's make sure that the demand matches the supply.
Yeah, your infrastructure.
Or the demand outpaces the supply, and then you can be aggressive with the way you quote things up. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's no different. Like we make a lot of cold calls in real estate. So if you call up and you're like, oh, do you want to sell? That's a horrible way to lead in. I think for anyone that's out there, when you're trying to make a sale or trying to get an outcome, you have the outcome in mind, but it's almost like you're on a track and that's the direction you're leading, but you never really just go straight hammer and tong at it. You always just try and build rapport. I don't know, you run on a process. That's how I've always looked at it. I'm not in a position where I've had employees, so I couldn't even imagine having 5 staff, $1,250 to pay them, and then know that shit, if I don't close this deal, it's almost like having a gun to your head. And it's like you had to make that happen.
So that's the real question, like gun to head. Like that was why I said balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I remember when Gravitas
Yeah.
was alive, but that died. I think if you were gun to the head situation, you've just, like you said, you just got to make it happen.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then
But how do you get on the phone and compartmentalise your desperation? For like, imagine someone who's watching and they've just been pulled into a sales meeting with their manager and they've said, you need to be selling 4 houses a month, you sell half. What are we going to do? Like, you've got 6 weeks to shape up, or we're just going to cut you.
yeah. Well, I guess if you're in a really, really hard position like that, your first few calls are going to be horrible, right? Because you're under desperation. But the more calls you make, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
Regardless.
We talked about this today in the car. You
Yeah.
leaned into the process.
That's what I would
The
do.
philosophy.
Yeah. So
you were like, you
direction.
put it out of your head.
100%. Direction is most important. The energy you bring out.
Yeah.
If you just come at it and you have that, so different. Like I'm sure Josh, you can relate as well. If you're just desperate for business and you come at it and you're sitting across and you're like, I need this to work. Someone's going to go, geez, stand back. You've almost got to take the outcome away of the whole thing, but have a direction on, hey, this is where we're going to go. Whether that be, hey, I'm calling for an appraisal, or you have a mantra like, hey, if you're not going to get, if you need 4 sales a month, well, you'd hope that you're getting an appraisal a day. Like, if you're not doing that sort of stuff and that momentum, then good luck.
So the answer for both of us, I'm curious to hear yours so far, is don't put yourself in a situation where you become desperate. Don't overcommit.
Correct.
Don't put yourself in a position where your balls are to the wall. What do you think? Have you been in a situation where you're like stressed and you've got to, like Monday's coming or whatever it is?
I'll describe to you my stressful situation. 5 years ago when I started the business, I resigned from that when I was earning maybe 100,000 annually and had the exact same amount of money come into my bank account every fortnight, and it didn't matter what I did. And I signed up and I started building a house, and the day my construction loan was approved and I was going to have some pretty hefty interest coming out from that point onwards, I resigned from my salary and started with no base and commission only, and had to go out and hunt and find business. And that was extremely stressful because financially I knew in my mind I had about 6 to 9 months, of which by 6 to 9 months I knew I will have either passed or failed my new business, and like I'm still here, right? But that was extremely stressful. And what I find a small amount of, you spoke about the process, small amount of calm in the storm, and this is a good thing and it's a bad thing, but my business approaches me, not the other way around. Whatever I do for someone, I can't ring someone up and say, do you want to buy a house? Let me give you a loan to buy your house. If they're not at the age and stage or want to buy a house, doesn't matter how good I am at selling, I can't give them a loan. So I need to create an environment where more people engage me as a broker and then do a good job at fulfilling their need. And I feel I've got a great process for that. And there's brokers anywhere and everywhere these days, and as long as you're a good broker who cares about your client and understands the complexity of their need and provides them a really good outcome, you're probably not going to lose the business. So when it comes to desperation and getting someone to sign on the dotted line, it's easier if you're, I suppose, in a job like mine where you don't need to charge your client directly. As long as you provide the highest level of service, you're not the most expensive, you're not the cheapest, you're exactly the same, you're all free. So I can get away from the desperation really easily. But where I do feel the desperation is, what am I doing to attract people to ring me and say, Josh, I have a mortgage, I'm paying 6%, I've spoken to one other broker, I want a second opinion. How do I win that business and not be desperate? I think it's easier to not be desperate. I think it's harder to encourage people to approach me in a non-desperate way, whether that be through content, through sponsoring and being part of a sporting club, or being part of a network group, whatever it is. And I think it's trusting your process.
How do you take away, and I can relate back when we did Gravitas, the emotion when you are almost, you're in, like it's very desperate, you feel like you can't even make that next page. So you can't do, you have $1,000 in the account. How do you take away from that emotion? Like you said, you had 6, so that's a really good thing for anyone who is listening. you had a little bit of a buffer, 6 to 9 months. And if
Mm.
you didn't make that work, you were going to be then just digging in. How did you not have that in the back of your mind when you did start that business?
I did. I did not have it in my mind. I quite legitimately wake up in the night and think, where's my next call going to come from? And
Did you use it as fuel, or did you, like, was that a big reason that made you stay in business?
Yeah, I think so. And I feel I still have that now. Like, I run off an operating cost of close to $1,200 a day, and if you're not helping someone borrow money every 3 or 4 days, we have a real problem. And I actually think it shows in the service that I provide clients, because I need to be so good and so much better than any other broker that I feel that there's little to no risk that a client's going to think or walk out of this office and say, I need a second opinion.
Correct.
We all do. And everyone over there does as well. Absolutely. Yeah. You should 100% compartmentalise the transactional element of what you do and make sure you outserve everyone.
But maybe there's
The rich don't work for money.
Yeah.
They help more people.
Yeah. And there's something in that, right? Like, how do you help eliminate desperation within yourself? Be the best at what you do. Have the best process. Care, not fake care.
Do you think that comes through trial and error though? Like, I'm just, because I remember the start of the business for Merchant Realty, and it was like we were everywhere and anywhere. We had no real clear direction. Our call outs were nowhere near what they are now. And the way I remember, just even like a lot of lessons, like the way I would approach a call back then was very much the same. Like, you call and you knew you needed the outcome. And it's like, but now I call and it's like you said, I'm calling, hey, I'm just inviting you to an auction. I just want to let you know, hey, I'm just servicing the market. Just want to let you know I've sold this property. These were the buyers. This is not my information. Then I guess you craft a different level, like you said, of service. Is that through trial and error? Do you reckon that would be the case over time? Because I think time is the most beautiful asset, and that's what we talked about today. I think that is one thing that you can't underestimate, is the ability to have time. But when you don't have time, it does feel like the world is closing in, and the emotion kicks in, and it's like you said though, that fueled your success. That's fueled you to where you are today, and it's not even you. It's led you to your position and knowing your business structure. You had to shift everything around, and now you're back to a point where you're in the best position you've ever been. You were saying
there's two parts to what you said too. Like, when you call your clients or get in front of a client, from day one, you either care about people or you don't. You're either in your job for you or you're in a job for your clients. And I don't think you can change that however long you're in an industry. You can't teach character.
no.
Your skill improves over time, and that's where trial and error plays a big part. But I think I won business early on. I've been doing this 8 years now, but I was in nappies 8 years ago as a mortgage broker, as a lender.
I like that. That's a good analogy. I was like, what do you mean?
I was in nappies, or I had the training wheels on.
Yeah.
But I still won business, and it wasn't because of my skill, because I was in nappies. But I think it was because the person sitting on the other side of the table could, hand on heart, say, this bloke really wants to help me out. Good or bad, he's in my court. And I think that makes a huge difference. Because people feel. And
when you care, when
Yeah.
you genuinely actually care about their best interests at heart, and you don't have your own motive,
Yeah. And like I always had, and I see you do, and like, admittedly, like, from a business perspective, sometimes to our detriment. But I think it's also what keeps us alive, or keeps our businesses alive too.
Helping too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran 2 jobs today at losses, both of them. So, I had a job that I worked out at midday, was not going to get done. I had some casuals doing other stuff, and I diverted them off that, and I put 5 staff on a job that it was literally a $2,000 job, including like materials and costs and everything.
I don't really under.
And I was like, this just needs to go well. And then at the end, I was like, how much did we lose today? And I said, I don't know. But you can't actually think like that, because it was the first time I served an agent in Rosebud, and I know we've now delivered, which means he understands. And I called him and I said, like, hey, like, here's how we're going. I've diverted a second crew. And I initially said it'd be 1 crew for the full day. I put a second crew on it. I know you have photos on Monday. I don't want to let you down. So he will be like, okay, this guy's like, he understands, he cares, he doesn't give a shit about his bottom line. He cares about me and my reputation, because he referred me in, ultimately. So that's why I think, like, that's the rich dad poor dad thing. The Robert Kiyosaki book is the rich don't work for money. And he means something else when he says it, but the way I take it is, like, don't focus on the transaction. Focus on making sure you're helping as many people as you can. John Rockefeller, you know Rockefeller, used to say, the man who does more than what he is paid for will soon be paid for more than what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that 100%. Service the fuck out of someone now. Make a loss on the first one. If you make a loss on the first one, they'll be with you forever.
Yeah.
And that $2,000 day where I worked it out today. Today I lost $300. I don't give a shit. Because this guy will be so happy, he can take his photos, and he's an agent in Rosebud. So he will send me lots of jobs. And if he sends me 1 a month, massive. And I'll quote him properly next time.
Do you reckon it's a lesson for anyone out there to take? Like, it's really funny. I now think about, like, all the concierge and the things that we'll go above and beyond for, and we don't get paid. It's all part of
you shouldn't have a business model that loses money, but on the times where you lose money, take the lesson. Daniel Lee taught me this.
Yeah. Oh, very briefly.
Yeah, so he was one of the top sellers at Burbank. He used to sell a lot of houses. And he mentored me, and he taught me, anytime you take a loss on a deal, make sure you take the lesson. Because you can apply it to the next one. Yeah.
It's very clever.
This guy at his peak was clearing well over $500,000 a year as an employee.
That's insane.
Yeah, and he take the lesson. Take the lesson, make sure you learn it, and on the next one, don't fuck it up.
I think there's heaps in that.
Yeah.
Heaps in that.
Yeah.
Like that story about the agent.
Yeah.
I think that's spot on. And to a lesser degree, I can't not get paid. The bank pays me, right? But sometimes there's scenarios where there's a lot more work than what I may get remunerated for in any given particular scenario. And there's different things I feel when I do that. I genuinely want to help. You never know who the person you're dealing with may also know, which might be good for your business too. You know, like the way that you're thinking about that agent, future business. But I think there's 2 practical ways that you can help yourself feel a little bit desperate too, that I'm just thinking back to when I started my business. Before I started my business, and not everyone may have the opportunity to do this, but I bought, built and rented a property, and I felt like that was a little bit of a cushion for myself. And maybe it was an excuse, maybe it was a justification, but in my mind when I started my business, I thought, if I don't write every line under the sun today, that's okay, because I've still done something else to set myself up, and it helped me feel a little bit less desperate, and it probably helped me have a small amount more credibility for me.
That's it.
That's a really good way to
So that helped. And the second thing I did is I rented with 3 other young boys, and I paid $125 a week in rent. And that was huge as well. Keeping your cost base low when you started helped me massively. I did have a little bit of out-of-pocket cost with investment property. Rent coming in was $2,500 a month. Interest per month going out was $3,200 a month, so I did have to cover a bit more there. But all in all, my out-of-pocket costs weekly were $250, and I could have baked beans on toast if I needed. So I knew that the only thing holding me back from being really successful was my skill at that point in time. And I knew that I could improve that over time. And provided my position at that point in time, from a cash flow perspective, was sustainable, I knew that success was guaranteed. So that helped me feel less desperate.
That's such an interesting perspective. So you put yourself into a committed standpoint to put yourself into this great amount of belief, to then realise I've got the skills now. I've got you've almost got the foundation over here. That's I've never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
But then I think about, like, if you take aside everything, but just like going to the gym, like the confidence you get when you're up and about, it's no different. It's still having a solid foundation. It's just in a different structure or a different way of thinking.
My dad brought me up on this principle. You get paid 3 ways, and the 3 ways are a pie that add up to 100%. And if you have a big chunk of one of them, you have a small chunk of the other one. Reputation, cash, and oh shit, I forgot the third. I was sitting like this shit. Reputation, cash, and lessons. Yeah. So if you lose all your reputation and make no money, fucking huge lesson.
It's true.
Huge lesson. You learn 100% lessons that'll stay with you forever. Yeah. I had one job where we were slashing long grass, and I smashed a window, and they didn't pay me. I made no money, and my reputation died. Man, I learned 100% lessons. 100% lessons. Yeah. Look at it the other way. If you focus on the money and it goes wrong, and you just are interested in the money, you're going to learn nothing, and your reputation is going to eat shit.
Yeah. Think of real estate, even think of finance brokers. There's some really shit people out there that are just in it for the money. Yeah. And that is genuinely the component.
You get paid 3 ways: lessons, reputation, and money. Make sure that money is the least interesting one. You're going to have money, absolutely. But if you just focus on the money, don't ever forget about the reputation. Don't ever forget about the lessons.
That's probably
they're so important.
It's the most practical advice.
The lessons and the reputation are the only ones you take from this earth when you die. You don't actually take the money. The money's utilitarian. It has a purpose, but it's the least, for me anyway, it's the least attractive.
You know, it's funny. I reckon some of the stuff that we've done, and it's actually funny, we're giving away free mow guys, by the way, and we can't even give it away. So that just proves, shit, sometimes doing things for free doesn't work. However, remember, I'm not going to say name, Harcourt.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Harcourt.
Yeah. My name.
Your mate.
New name.
A free mow. A free mow.
Yeah.
So something for free, anything that's practical. If you can go and offer anything, and if your back is against the wall, go and do something for free. It'll probably lead to something great. You've done it, depending on the time limit you have. Like if you're going to go and do something that's going to cost you weeks to do for free, probably don't do it. If you can do it for 2 hours, knock yourself out. What did we do?
So Josh called me, and I remember I was like booked, and I just hired my first full timer. So I was like, can't give anything for free, and I've got no time. And he called me and he said, "This vendor's stitched me up, blah 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 blah."
Left it a shambles.
Yeah, like it was knee high grass.
Really tough situation for the owner, so I did get it, but
and Josh called me, and Josh said, "I need you to go out there and mow it, whatever it costs, I'll pay it." And I kind of looked it up, and I worked out it was going to cost me about an hour of my time. And I said, "You know what, mate? We're going to do it for free. We'll film some content, put it out, and we'll just..." Never did.
Never did. But
never did it.
This is the funny part.
We should have done it, but basically
maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe it got at a point. I don't know.
Maybe, but we went and did that, and then this is like a massive customer for me now.
Yeah.
From a free mow today, I just got a notification he's paid $700.
So you look at that. You look at the lesson in that.
I think he's become a What do we work out? Like a $25,000 a year customer off the back of a free note.
Wow.
Recurring business, 25 grand. That's half someone's salary for a year because they gave away a free note.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, a very practical and easy thing to do is if there's something that you can do for free. It's hard if you're a real estate agent and you're trying to do it for free, well, if you have an owner on the market for 90 to 120 days and you ain't selling that, you're not going to get paid. So it's incredibly hard. You've got to have the right process at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you've got to be practical. Obviously, you can do good things and charge lower fees, but at the end of the day, I think you do pay for what you get, but you just can't come across as desperate. It's easier said than done. You just can't bring the emotion into
They
it.
smell it. Commission breath is disgusting.
We've been there though. We remember door knocking.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I've been desperate. I've quoted gardening jobs, literally, where I'm like, I am dead tomorrow if I don't sell this. And then you. And I would literally borderline say, like, what is it going to take to get this over the line? I didn't actually say that, but my language was that. I think the sentiment of this is you can't put yourself in a position where you are balls to the wall.
Or if you do, at least make sure your language and your energy, go and listen to some beautiful, upbeat, motivational stuff. Or at least pump yourself up, listen to some funny stuff, comedy, get yourself into a good energy and go and do it then. Because if you come across and you bring that emotion of all your personal stuff, it will be radiated and it will just snowball through every one of those people that you do come in contact with.
When I have been desperate, I've, for me, found the only thing is literally faith in God. That's my thing.
That's a really good one.
That's not going to work for everyone, but for me, that's my thing. Like, literally, you get on the phone to old mate and be like, where is it? Do you want to bring it? And I find he usually brings it.
It's been,
Unless you have a lesson to learn. There's like, nah. Next week. You're like, fuck. Yeah. That's my thing though. Yeah.
No, I think faith is a big thing.
Yeah.
You're either in fear or you're in faith. And I think that comes down to...
Yeah, we've been talking about this. You can either operate out of faith or fear. You have a choice.
It's good to know both though. It's good to identify your fears.
Yeah.
It's actually really important, I think, to identify your fears and know what routes, and that's...
People know when you're operating out of fear. I've met people...
You can smell.
I've met people recently. I don't care anymore. Like, when I rock up to a client now, I'm like, here's how we're going to help you. Oh, it's a bit expensive. Guess so. Find a cheap gardener. Poor man pays twice. And the feedback I've got from people is, you just seem more, like, short of yourself. Like, yeah, you don't mind, yeah.
I think as long as you don't...
I was desperate, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And that's not good. You should never do that. Don't ever put yourself in that position. You'll lose.
And don't mistake confidence with arrogance. Don't just be arrogant for the sake of and say, oh, I'm this good because of X, Y, and Z.
What's the difference?
Well, I think confidence, you're confident in your process, you're confident in your belief and your values. I think arrogance is when you're just speaking out false accusations that aren't true and you're lying to yourself. Do you think
one is quiet and one is loud?
I think, there's more humility.
Confidence is quiet, arrogance is loud.
I think you've got to be a bit of a, like I think in work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a, depends on the industry. I think I would say you're hyper confident. You've got to be a bit, not ruthless isn't the word, but I do think you have to be a bit.
Well, we're booked out for 4 months.
Like,
so I can be confident, and I can put whatever price I want, and I'm selling for the casuals. So if you don't want the price, that's fine.
See that's what I mean. That's not an arrogance. It's just a confidence. It's hey, it doesn't actually matter. Like, and that's not arrogance. That's just the confidence to be like, hey, I actually can't make this work for you. Like I wish I could, but it's
interesting. To your point, the process. I've now built a process where I've booked out the full timers, and now the casuals are the ones I'm booking, and now I feel like I'm in the casino, playing like
you're playing bonus.
Yeah, like a bit of cream on top, basically.
Bonus.
Yeah, it's bonus round. Yeah. And if someone wants to negotiate, I'd be like, no, not interested. Like, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
How do you deal with that? Because
He doesn't.
You don't get a price.
I do something.
You're fixed.
Well,
aren't you?
yes and no. Let me give you an example. I've got 2 clients at the moment. They've got no debt. They're selling their home and they're buying another, but they've found their dream home. They want to buy it. When I was back in the bank, we always used to use the analogy: they've picked up their keys before they've sold their old car. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They need bridging
They've
finance.
done the bank. They've done the
They need
bank
bridging
thing.
finance.
I like that.
They've picked up their keys before they sold the old car.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've found their dream property. They've thought whatever it takes to get myself and the family in this property.
Have they bought it?
One has, one hasn't so far.
It's not what you want.
Look, we do some numbers prior.
Yeah.
There's a method to the
Madness.
Beck McLean madness.
No,
I'll have clients watching it. I'll be like, no, Josh told me it's all good. Anyway, so no, I'm extremely articulate. I treat it very, very carefully. The last thing you ever want is to be pulled into a scenario where you've given a client poor advice and they're out of pocket on a deposit or something like that. But yeah, what we do is we look at a bridging loan. For those who don't know, it's a loan that the bank will give you that you generally wouldn't otherwise be able to afford because they know that you're going to sell the property that you're in at the moment to clear the entire debt, and you'll probably be in your new property debt free or with a very small residual debt. Now, I only get paid if the bank collects interest, right? So if someone wants to buy a house and borrow a decent amount of money, I get paid, and that's not a problem. However, with bridging finance, if there's no end debt or only a small amount, there is no payment for me. And I love my clients, but I can't work for free. Like I really do, and I do my best to try and keep costs low as well. Now, in that scenario, I do need to charge my client. And in both these scenarios recently, I've had to say exactly what I just said. I love my clients, but I can't work for free. You could probably go to a few various banks and hack it out with them, and by all means you're welcome to, but if you want to use me, the cost is, one of them was $1,500, one was $2,500, because there was varying amounts of end debt that I did receive a commission on. And both clients said, yeah, that's no problems, you know, we want to work with you, we want you to handle the process, we trust you. But I have had to charge. So what was your question? Because sometimes I do.
Shit, what was my question? What did I ask? I actually don't remember. That was a long answer. But a mental blank.
But
I felt like I asked about, and then there were going to be 2
how do
scenarios.
I find
There were going to be
understanding my value if I need to charge? So was it something in relation?
No, how do you get, how do you get paid? No, so it was, that's what I want to know. You said your fee was fixed, you just said fixed.
Yeah.
So
So
my
your
fee is not fixed. So
Is it just a percentage? Or is
yes, but in the
it, so it's
terms
no
of
different to a real estate?
It's undisclosed
yeah,
and
so
it's the same as everyone else.
no, it's disclosed. So clients can see in their loan contracts what I get paid by the bank. It's a 0.65% of whatever they borrow, and some loans are bigger than others, and you just take the wins and take the, not losses, but smaller amounts. Doesn't matter. All in all,
That was a really good point. So, wait, can I
yeah.
ask another thing on that? Because, okay, you would obviously spend a lot of time with people, say on like a $500,000
Yep.
loan, and then say a million, 1.5.
Yeah.
It's the same across all 3.
Most of the time, it's the same amount of work.
Okay.
But you get paid either 3,000, 6,000, or 9,000 in that scenario.
Okay, so you've worked out, so it's no different like real estate. We never really charge a fixed fee.
Yeah.
We'll always charge a percentage because we think, hey, you win, we win. We don't like to use the word you lose because we're not here to just do that. But I do think it's super important to, hey, you charge this, whatever the percentage is, and then, you know, we all win out of that. But it's no different. Some people might be okay with being on the market for 2 months, 3 months. If it's an acreage property, it might take a little bit longer. If it's a higher property, it might take, you just find the right buyer, it might take a specific window. But I think if it's an auction, there's going to be more work that goes into it. We have a clear process on a certain amount of days we're going to have on. But it's no different to you. So you have to go through, regardless of the loan, you have to go through the same steps.
Yeah, and a lot of brokers are far more aggressive than this, but when there's a significant amount of work for a loan that's smaller than 250,000
Mm.
is probably my really generous cut-off,
Yeah.
then that's when I'll charge a
How,
fee.
how do your clients take it when you tell them that, hey, you need to charge like 0 to 250, hey, there's going to need to be a fee incorporated because I can't just take on the business.
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
Because by that point, I've heard out what they want to do, why they want to do it. I've generally given them the answer already on how to achieve it, and they trust me, so they feel really good about it. And I also explain, I don't know how other brokers feel. I find that a lot of brokers are a little bit cagey with how much they get paid, how they get paid, if they need to charge a fee, how they've come to that fee.
I've never heard a broker tell, like, they'll never tell you the fee. And it's
I'm so open about all this.
It's no different in real estate. I think if you can't tell someone your fee or your value straight up and not just be confident in it and be like, this is my position, like take it or leave it. It is like, you know what I mean? It's like, then they're going to go, oh, where is that fee going to come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that little bit of doubt.
I had one client, he said to me, he goes, Josh, I just want to know how I'm getting fucked. And I said, that's not what's going on, mate.
You know what, mate? I'm not going to tell you.
But
not by me.
I said there's this 4-letter word that's very involved in that, that's BANK. But anyway, I'm going to laugh from him too. But no, I'm extremely open about it because people trust transparency. And I tell people, I say, I pay staff, I pay people to help me process a lot of the work that comes in, and I have a rough, minimum cost of business of about $2,500, depending on how much work is involved in any particular given request. And if for some reason I am going to receive a commission on a loan of $1,800 and the amount of work's on the higher side, then I'll charge the difference, being $700 to top it up, and I'll explain that to a client. And in their head, they're going, "Oh, I understand." Like he doesn't have a flat fee of $1,100 where he's just cleaning up on the easy ones. He's charging accordingly to the work involved to make sure that he's remunerated and his business is remunerated fairly. I think that clicks for clients, and they trust that and go, "Oh, okay, sure, of course." Like there's a reason for that.
That's a really handy thing for your position that you can specifically, you can specifically charge to your client's needs.
Yes.
Like you said, obviously when it gets to that threshold, you then have to go, okay, yeah, it's, whatever that is. I'm not going to say it again, but I know you, the levels that we spoke about, that's what you're going to get from each and every one. And but at least you're transparent. I think that's the biggest pillar, and I think it's no different in any business. Just being honest, being down the line, being truthful, just black and white with people. Yeah. They just respect it. Yeah. I think if you're at all ever desperate, make a joke out of it. Make a joke out of it. So you know what I mean? Like seriously, like I know that might sound bad, but like seriously, put that out there. Like you'd be pretty good at that. You would have done that in your time, I reckon.
Be black and white.
Or just made a joke out of something, like made a joke out of your position in desperation, like in desperate times.
I've never made a joke out of my desperation. I should.
I reckon I thought you would have done that.
I've never done it.
Maybe that's the way to bring the walls down.
But that's what I mean. You like
it's clever.
It's. I thought you would have done that. Like I thought you would have done that because you normally. It's funny. You would normally have all these conversations.
But 2 years ago.
I probably should have given that advice there.
Yeah.
But, I think I mean, when you're black and white, you know yourself, the more clear you are on what you want and what you need, from people, and the better it becomes. So.
I think you go.
Oh, I was going to say, there's, you said the smell of desperation is pretty bad, and there's probably a few smells that are worse. One of which.
Staying home.
I don't know about that.
It's a treatment plant.
Oh.
Yeah, staying home.
Oh, I was unaware.
Yeah.
That wasn't the smell I was thinking of. The smell I was thinking of is greed. Like someone who
commission.
Yeah, just overcharges for what they do.
I like that.
Someone that overcharges for what they do because they just want to make a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it's
What does overcharge mean? Something's worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
No, I specifically mean when someone may deliver a given service, but they intentionally overcharge because they know they can. I think it's unfair. I think that there's a. I think I sleep really well at night because any of these, these two bridging scenarios I discussed, I genuinely don't think there would have been any resistance if I was to say instead of $1,500 or $2,500, I said, look, my fee for service for this kind of thing is $5,500. This is the reason I charge it, and I'm a good person, but I can present that in a genuine way, and I just think it's completely unethical, and I think that's greed when people do that, and it's disappointing to see. I think it's worse than desperation.
That's a good point, and I'd like to unpack that. So I think
It's a really good one.
I don't disagree, but I don't agree. So I think that if you can transform, and I think it actually comes down to the way you price yourself. If you can transform a customer's life,
It
and
comes down
they're
to how big
happy.
the job is.
if you can transform a customer's life and they're happy, who says what it's worth? If they get their outcome, they price it. You don't price it. The market doesn't price. There is no market.
So
I had a lady ask me. She said, "In the storms, a tree fell over my driveway. Can you come and cut it up?" And I said, "I can come next week." And she said, "How much to come now?" And I said, "We'll just go. We'll just do it. No worries." And then I sent her the bill. She paid it immediately. They were there half hour, but because I had to arrange a lot of stuff, I charged her $500. I had to cancel jobs. Yeah, it was a nightmare. Did I screw her? No, she didn't leave her house.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems really reasonable.
Yeah,
$500 to upheave the operations of your business for that period of time.
Yeah, 3 guys, half hour.
Yeah, look, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you had said I can do it at $2,500, I would have thought, don't rip the poor woman off.
Yeah.
it'd be like.
But she could say no.
She can. I don't know.
So I'm with you, and I've never really, because I would never say $2,500 because I'm like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's almost like
She's not going to pay it. She's got a brain, yeah? I'm really curious to unpack that idea that you can actually rip someone off. If they're happy with the transformation, did you rip them off? If you buy a Rolex, so how much is a Rolex?
a lot of money.
30 grand?
Minimum
30
grand,
maybe.
Free, 713. It's 713 right now. I have 714. It just changed. If I wear it on my wrist for $30,000, was I ripped off? No, because I saw inherent value in the status attached to the bullshit on my wrist. So I gave Rolex money for the transformation of you two geezers thinking I had a Rolex. Did I get ripped off?
I don't know.
No, because I paid for a transformation in my life.
Well, it's the same as American
No.
real estate.
Because you think I'm a weapon because I've got a watch.
No, I think you got ripped off by Rolex. But no, I'm kidding.
So if
I understand your theory.
Yeah.
I feel that there's something innately within me that prevents me from doing that.
Yeah.
And I speak to a lot of brokers. I go to conferences. I'm going to catch-ups. We do continuous education together. And there's plenty of brokers out there that say my minimum cost of business is $5,000. I don't speak to a client for less than $5,000.
So there's a real estate agent that I know up in the city. He won't budge. He's BA, buyer's agent. He won't touch anything under 2.5% over 1.5 million. So, and I'm like, that's just actually he's positioned himself into a marketplace that he wants to be. So I don't necessarily, and it's like you think about the US, right? US charged 6%. 6%. That used to charge. It used to be fixed at 3%. Now that the markets, and I mean the value of property, yes, it's gone up, but the value of money is also come down. So you look at what you get. So it's no different. We will do the same process for an auction property and charge the same amount. It doesn't matter if it's a $500,000 or a $2.5 million property.
It gets to a point as well where you can't afford to offer cheap shit.
Correct. Because you need to be, you need to, okay, it's like this. If you're doing the same process at a 2.5 million, you almost need to then, the only way you can ever grow or get better is by then upping at the lower end and then moving up, scaling up. That's the only way. Otherwise you have to find more leads.
I lost a customer this week because at the rate that we're at, I have to rush. We're get in, get out. It was an $80 customer. $80. So we gotta go. Like, I gotta earn across a crew of 3. I've got to earn $1,800 a day to make this thing like worth it. Yeah. So $80. Like, we gotta go. Yeah. And she said, I've noticed that the care's not there anymore. I'm like, I get it. I really get it. And I realised the way that I have set that service up, I could send them there and get them to do the service the way it should be done, but we will lose money. Which means I go out of business, which means I can't serve it anymore. So I have a disadvantage. I'm disadvantaging her and myself by being too cheap. So now we have a $200 minimum on services. Unless it's a mo. We'll come in and do a mo, where they're like a couple of minutes or whatever it is for $60. There's 3 of them there, and they're like, bang, 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 bang.
So I can guarantee.
And I think you have to think like that. If you're too cheap, you actually fuck your customer because you're not giving them a good enough service.
Question. So in real estate, it's very demographical, right? If you're a first time seller, you need more education, so you need more time. And normally speaking, if you've got a first time seller, normally you've got a property that's going to lend themselves to a first time buyer. So normally you're going to meet a lot more of those buyers. You have to do a lot more work, a lot more leg work. So you're actually doing more work than you would be at $2 million. It's actually a really interesting concept, like you said.
So this guy with the $5,000, I can't remember who said $5,000 minimum. It's because all his other customers are at that level. So he's disadvantaging these other customers because he'd be like, all right, we'll do like a $2,500 thing, and he gives them shit service, and it's not on brand. So you kind of have to be at that level to give what is required, because the market is paying this over here, and then it's like, well, like I can do you a little loan, but like you're gonna get like you shouldn't go with me. I'm not that broker. I'm a different broker. I'm a different gardener. I am the gardener that charges this because we have this transformation, and I will die on this hill. I will send staff back if I think it's one day, and it's not one day. It's 2 days. I'll take the loss. I don't care. I will send staff back as long as it takes, and I will lose as long as it takes to get this done. So when I commit to a low price for you, I'm just going to go out of business. So I actually can't afford to go for a low price. I have to give you the service that Smart Yards is about. I have to charge you a wild amount of money, because when it goes wrong, I'm going to throw a wild amount of money at it.
Yeah.
And it does go wrong. Often.
This is a great conversation.
It's actually a really
great conversation.
Yeah.
Because
It happened today. It happened today.
Yeah.
I threw 5 staff members at this guy. I lost so much money today, and I thought to myself, you know what? 100% this is what we're about. This is what Smart Yards is about.
Yeah.
The reason, so I literally charged this guy $2,500, and you go, that's a lot of money for one day. No.
Yeah.
It was 3 guys, $1,800 plus costs on top. And basically, at the end of the day, I walked around and I looked at him like, I'm not happy with this. So I sent him an email and I said, I'm actually not happy with the way the driveways come up. I'm not happy with the way the lawns look. So we're going to come back on Monday and we're going to do another couple of hours. And then also, I fucked something else up with tip fees. And I thought the tip fees were going to be $200. They're actually $600.
Too mad loss.
So I'm just eating plates of shit on this deal. But I have to charge a lot of money on all the other deals to make it homogeneously worth it for the whole thing. And then you go like, well, how do you charge lots of money? Good question. Have a reputation that I will die on this fucking hill. Know what you're about.
Be confident.
Have like a point of difference. We are the only exterior stylists on the peninsula. I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to come in. I'm going to tell you where the value lies in your garden, what's a waste of time, what's a good use of money. And all the other gardeners are going to be like, I'll charge you this much every hour to weed. and they will not give you a fixed quote. Like, you got to have your point of
You're going
difference.
to come in.
You got to have your point of difference. You got to lock yourself in, and when it goes wrong, you're going to go, I'm gonna lose. So when you pay a lot of money, it's because when I lose, I lose. You don't lose. That's what you pay for. It's a warranty. It's insurance.
That's such a good perspective.
Yeah.
That's such a good perspective.
Yeah. So when people have a big price, that's why people have a big price. Yeah. Because the work has been done. Rolexes are expensive, not because there's like, here you go, $300 Sonys.
They're probably worth $2.
What do you reckon? $2?
$2.
But Ray-Ban spent so much money on marketing over the last 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
But they made this little bit of plastic worth that. Something is worth what someone, if you break it up, will kill you. The $300.
I thought they were cutting that Sunny's really
No, they're right.
next to the
They're right, yeah, it's $300.
I literally in my head, I walked past, I said, no, I didn't pick any
These are great. No, these are a great example of a shoe that's worth nothing that people pay. So this specific pair of shoes is worth nothing because I wear them all the time. But if they were like mint in box, people pay like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, get your shoes off.
That's good.
Something is worth what someone is. Something's worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real estate.
Goods, property.
Real estate.
Yeah.
So if you buy a block of land and then build a house
It's
on
all
it,
relative.
yeah. If you do a really good job of that, you make money. If you do a really bad job of that, you make a loss. If the market goes up, do you feel guilty that you overcharged someone? Fuck that. I took all the risk. This is my entire plan.
So I mean, to summarise this,
I was going to have a go at summarising.
you give it a crack, mate.
Well, not you. I think you had a better plan for summarising because I was just going to. Anyway, I think that you've justified the way that you charge incredibly well. No, seriously,
Yeah.
I think you've justified the way that you charge incredibly well.
Yeah.
You've clearly articulated why whatever the financial value is worth it to the client.
Yeah.
Clearly, because when something's not done right, you're right. You're the one losing. You're wearing the risk, and you're costing that risk in your quote, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And same goes with myself, with you, and I think that's spot on. I think there's still greed out there where you're not, where people aren't clearly articulating the cost for risk.
I think greed. So I'm going to put greed in perspective in real estate. It's almost like people who want outcomes that just are not there. And what I mean by that is greed. Like,
Agents or vendors?
Well, both. Like, if I went in and charged 4%, it's not there.
But if you're Gavin Rubinstein,
But it's not there, regardless. No, but you come up against that. It's just not there.
Nah, because
But hear me out. If you had an owner whose house was worth, call it $1 million, but they're like, oh, I want $1.2 million.
if Snoop Dogg,
Like then okay, then we've done that. Okay, if you want 1.2, the market has no justification for that. We'll charge you 5% if we hit it.
if Snoop Dogg,
Seriously, like, because if you really give that thought, you're like, you're wanting it such an out there in the world spectrum.
yeah.
How can we justify that? It'd be like no different if you come up against the yard cleanup and they wanted it done in 2 hours. You'd be like, I can get everyone here, but I'm going to charge you $5,000. You know what I mean? Like,
if Snoop Dogg opened an agency in Frankston,
you'd be the G.
But
the show thanks.
would he be the same? Would he be the same com as everyone else? Or
I think you should.
twice as much.
I think you should be. No.
Why?
Because he's got all the bling. He's got the
No,
name.
because people. Here's the
Because
catch.
the house
People
bloody
want to-
rapping.
But is he going to move the needle by 5% on the sale price?
So that might not. That probably won't work
So
for you.
this is.
You're not a buyer of this thing, but it'll work for some people I know.
So
And
okay,
it'll work for.
there was $1 million campaign on a marketing budget in Brisbane the other day on a $7 million house. They did $1 million marketing budget. Million. Why?
They made a mistake.
But that's, you look at the percentage on a $7 million listing.
Maybe
Still on the
not.
market.
By the way, what did
It's
they
not
do?
market.
Let's talk about it. Did that boost their business?
No, not at all. They haven't. Well, probably yeah for Ray.
That's
yeah,
what I
for
mean.
business,
No,
yeah.
not for Ray White.
No,
But-
not for the owner.
For the owner,
No,
like to
yeah.
the owner, like was it Culture Kings guy?
No, it was
You
just
know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
no.
is there value in it for him?
No, they're still on the market.
The huge
Oh,
problem.
it's all right.
The huge
They're
problem.
fucked up, bro.
The huge
The price tag was
Yeah.
important.
The,
Be
the,
realistic.
the
I
huge
agree.
problem I have with that is who loses the client, and
Yeah.
but they lose because the buyers. It does not matter if it's Snoop Dogg selling your house. How long is that buyer of the Snoop Dogg agent going to go? Gee, I'm so glad I paid an extra $200,000 for my house because Snoop Dogg sold it to me. There's still only X amount of value to whatever product is being sold.
It's no different. So we'll lose a lot of business because we'll go in and say a true figure on what we think it's confidently valued at, and then you have agents come in and go, "I'm going to buy this listing at this amount,"
Yeah.
and it's like, so that's the greed, and they get.
Yeah.
But what the problem is sales. You're taught good language, you're taught good energy, you're taught confidence, and at the end of the day, someone if I came in and I said your house, Josh, was worth 1.5 to 1.6, and then you had another agent out and they said 1.7 to 1.8, who are you going to go with?
It's the agent's unwinnable battle, and the one thing I literally tell every single client that's thinking about selling, I go, buy the agent, not the price, because.
But the best agents though can be very out there, make you feel good, make you feel great, and they can say it's $2 million.
Your house is so special.
That's but their job is to make people feel emotion, and it's then they crunch, then they come down, and then knock, and that's how we look at it, and it's like it is. But that's great, and that's why I do get annoyed because you miss opportunities, and they come back, and you're like, hey, I think if you were going to. I even will give advice and say, okay, even if you're going to go with someone else, I'd suggest putting the advertised price competitive to the market. Because if you put it on too high, you're just going to be chopping yourself down, and then you don't get a second first impression. But anyway, that's aside.
911s.
What?
911s, the Porsche 911. So the difference between a GT3 and a GT3 RS is on the RS, it's very track focused. So they take out the back seat, they take out a whole bunch of weight. You don't get door handles anymore. You get like a cloth pull handle. You don't get all this. There's no emblem on the front. It's a sticker only. Yeah. The RS is a $536,000 car. The GT3 is a $446,000 car. 100 grand more, 80 grand difference. Yeah. The more expensive one, they take stuff off. It's cheaper to make. Something is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. The transformation for that end customer is greater than the transformation for the other customer. That's why it's worth more.
Look, you're right, and people buy
People are paying it.
the Yaris. The Yaris. People still buy the Yaris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting, isn't
Have
it?
you seen the 60 grand Yaris?
No.
The GR. So it's supposed to be like the most amazing car. It's the only rear-wheel drive hatchback, and they put all this money into the Yaris. 60 grand. People like there's queues out the door. What's the Yaris worth? 23 grand.
I
don't know anymore. Like, what's a cheap car? I was talking about this today. What's like a cheap car?
I feel like
23.
Toyota. Yeah, I think 23 is a
23,
cheap
yeah.
new car. 25.
Yeah.
But Toyota maybe a little more. Maybe a cheap Toyota is
Like an i30,
32
like an
or something, 33 or 34.
Yeah, okay. But like a cheap car is like 23 grand. Like an i20 or
but that's a cheap
Kia
expensive car.
Cerato or
But
whatever.
the depreciation on that will be crazy as well. I think, you know what, maybe I'm naive, but when you said that about the Yaris, in my mind I thought, people are better than that. They can assess the value closer to what it is, not the perceived value or the status value. They can look at the RS and someone in their educated mind will think, I'm not going to buy that because it has less shit in it and it costs more money. That's what I would think.
That was the old Jeremy Clarkson Top Gear joke, and it got better than that. He would say, you pay more for the less on your Porsche, to the point at which someone will walk past the Porsche showroom and be charged £1 million. just for walking past. It's a valid point.
It is
Yeah.
a valid point.
Yeah.
But you're right, not everyone in this world is like me. Everyone's different. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
I would look at that and think, what a stupid thing.
I get it.
That's
for sure.
Same with the Yaris.
Because for you, status is not important. It's not worth the
Yeah, it's not.
transformation you're
That's
paying
right.
for. You don't give a shit because you're secure. But for a lot of people, they're insecure. They buy $300 Ray-Bans.
I think you're pretty secure, mate. But I enjoyed making fun of you for the Kmart Sunnies.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I must admit, I've now lost 4 pairs of Oakley Sunnies in a row, and each pair's like $250. But I don't buy into the brand. I just find them very comfortable. Where I do think that they're better. Yeah, they look as cheap as ever.
Yeah.
You should buy a pair of Oakley.
These are not that old, and they are not super old. These would be 4 months old, and like, look at that, that's shagged.
Yeah.
What are we still talking about? A $300 pair of Sunnies?
No, but status. Status is interesting.
He's just found himself a.
What's the difference between Franks and South? It's all the same paddock. Same paddock. No.
It's exactly
no,
that's
no,
I don't think it's status.
No,
I don't think it's
objectively.
status.
What is it? Safety?
Objectively, if you
Safety? Put a lock on your door.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's status. Mount Eliza from Franks and South. Humphreys
Yeah, I'll
Road.
put that in
Humphreys
a
Road.
second.
Humphreys Road. So
Yeah.
you got the left hand side of Humphreys Road. Yeah.
No, that
You
is
got
very
one
true.
side
So
of Humphreys
Mount Eliza,
Road.
Franks and South, is
Yeah.
the
It's
everyone
the
be like,
same
all Mount Eliza.
It's the same
It
paddock.
is the
It's $100 grand
Mount
difference.
Eliza. Well, Mount Eliza
I don't know what it
is
is.
$1.6 million and Franks and South at 1.2. It's
$400 grand difference. Different side of Humphreys Road. Why? You can get
For a lot of
$20
people,
grand
it would be status. For a lot of people, it would be
From
status.
Mount Eliza.
I would argue that the reason for the price difference is status. Whether you buy it,
What's value?
it might be, you want it because it'll be a better investment.
Probably.
Maybe safety.
That's probably how.
Lock your door.
There's a difference. I recently looked at a few different properties in Mount Eliza. I also looked at some properties in Franks and South. There's a particular land size, old house that we were looking for. You go down some streets in Mount Eliza, they're usually really well looked after, tidy as, white roads, shit. It was.
People steal more stuff in Mount Eliza than you know.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Let's be real. That's
That's
where
right.
the shit.
Yeah.
Why would think about it?
If I was
Why
a-
would you steal from Frankston when you've got Frankston people in the Frankston?
We're talking about this today.
Thank you. Zero chance.
I leave my house unlocked because I live on Heather Hill Road in Frankston.
Yeah.
Nobody's robbing me.
They're gonna,
Yeah.
The people in Mount Eliza are getting robbed. So it's not even safety.
But
It has to be status.
it's
all the same
I
package.
think for a
They
lot
all
of
shit into the same river, as my dad used to say.
people, they do.
They all shit into the same river.
But I think the distinction to be made is we looked at some equivalent size property and land sized properties in Frankston South, and it's not exactly the same. It's not just that you go down the road, there's stuff on nature strips, not as well kept, not the same level of investment that people have made into their properties in particular areas. Like there is a difference in
So you
quality
buy
of
What about
because of
Pierce
what
now?
they care, what people they care about their houses more. So
Why
technically,
not
you're right.
Pierce now?
Status.
Pierce now, people have so much pride, and massive properties and massive houses. Why don't you buy Pierce now?
I
Status.
cannot walk to the beach from Pearcedale.
Well, look,
I tell you what, you could save $500,000 and Uber there wherever the fuck you want.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, it's status. Mount Eliza is a brand. No different to Rolex. And that's why people pay for it.
I agree from the perspective of many angles. I think some people perceive value. in
I'm
different
not
ways.
saying
right,
you're
that's
a
what just
chump.
I'm
not saying you're a chump.
disagreement.
I'm not saying you're a chump.
Podcast.
For the record, I'm not saying you're a chump. I'm not saying you're boarding it.
We're gonna leave
But
this one till next week.
But I'm saying the reason that it is worth more is because the Porsche mums want to pay more.
You know what?
Alright, so
agree.
you tits.
No, I
I'm not
agree
saying
with
you're a chump.
I
I'm
agree.
not calling
I
you out
think
to be a
that's-
chump.
I think that's why. I
Yeah.
also believe that's why
Yeah.
I think now lies is
Yeah.
more expensive than tracks itself.
Yeah,
I
but there'll be basis. There'll
Yes.
be reasons for
Yes.
it, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there's less homes in there. Just blind me, guys. We've got one-on-one real estate. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. I think
Yeah, nice. That was good.
that was a really good one.
That
I
was
think, in summary, if we had to summarise it and have one key takeaway, is the hardest part is probably the emotion of when you're in the desperation. Maybe have a joke with it. If you haven't really thought about that, have a joke with it. Make yourself clear. Make it known. Put it out in the air and pray. I think pray, and you had a very practical point as well.
Try and protect yourself from desperation by genuinely keeping your cost base low.
100%.
I think that is a fabulous outcome. Do you want to do a sign off?
No, that's it. That's the sign off. Thanks for listening. Take
See
care.
ya.
See you in the next one, guys.
That was good. I like that. I like the tension. That was good.